Everyone, and welcome back. This is an especially exciting time of year where Tesla will release a big software update to their fleet of cars that allows them additional functionality within the cars that include like safety, navigation, and just pure entertainment features as well that really enhances the driving experience. And when you're just sitting in your car doing a little bit of work or just sitting at the supercharger, these features add a lot of value. So there were a few notable features around the following things. There are updates that include the ability to use the Apple Watch now for unlocking the car, seeing the battery percent, and opening the trunk and the frunk from your wrist, which is pretty cool. The mobile app now allows you to view and save dash cam footage remotely from your phone, which was only previously capable of doing from within the car. The Sirius XM app has now been added for those who use that. There's an ability to set the arrival energy, more on that during the video. Also, searching along your route for destinations, and as well as the current map area. That's similar to Google Maps and how it lets you look for destinations along your route. The precipitation map is now available where you can see the radar, like the green and the red and the yellow where it shows the rain over the map, and it also gives you a little information about the weather at your destination. The theater and video updates include the ability now to continue listening to the audio of a video after you start driving. Previously, when you had a video playing in the browser, when you put the car in drive, the video would completely stop and you wouldn't be able to even listen to the audio. Now you can listen to the audio while you drive. Other smaller features include being able to control the passenger seat going forward and backwards from the screen. The road closures that other Teslas have detected and seen will now route you around those and display the affected areas on the map. When reviewing dash cam footage, it now jumps to when you clicked save or when it detected something it thought is an accident rather than having to search the entire video. And lastly, upon supercharger arrival, when it comes to any stalls at that supercharging station that may be out of order, upon arrival, you will be alerted on the screen which stalls those are. So those are the features in the new holiday package. Let's take a look at a few of these that are available in the car on the screen. We're going to go over set arrival energy, search along route and current map area, the precipitation map, and the bit about listening to audio from within the browser from videos. Let's take a look at a little bit of the nitty-gritty and the small bits and pieces of how we use these features and what value they can add to our drive from inside the car. Alright, so the set arrival energy feature was a little bit hard for me to understand at first, but let me just give you an example that kind of makes it a little bit easier to get kind of like what it's kind of used for. So when you're charging, there's basically a set percent that you're saying like, hey, I want to charge to 80%, and then the car will stop charging once it gets to there, because this is set as the charge limit. But let's say that we're actually charging and we're going to drive somewhere afterwards. So there's a couple pieces of information that are kind of useful. So right now, if we look down here, I've got the destination set to Philadelphia City Hall. It's pretty far away. It's 39 miles. It's going to take 45 minutes. And this little piece right here where it says -5%, that means that since we're currently charging, if we left now while we're charging, we would arrive at City Hall with -5%. In other words, we would never make it to our destination, right? The second kind of useful piece of info is up here, 3 minutes remaining to continue the trip, right? That just lets us know that, hey, you're probably going to have the bare minimum that you need to get once you get to City Hall. So the set arrival energy feature allows us to customize what we want this percentage to be. So basically, we can set, once we arrive at our destination, let's say we want to have, let's call it 30% battery remaining upon arrival. So now, if we click these three little dots, once we're navigating, we can do set arrival energy. And let's set that to our 30%. Click save. Right now, once our destination, when we energy when we arrive, this little guy down here, once this reaches 30%, it'll let us know, hey, you're ready to go and complete the trip. So right now it says we only have 7 minutes left, so that once we arrive, we'll have that 30% remaining. All right, so we're now coming up on 5 minutes from when we last checked, and now this notification just popped up saying, hey, you have enough energy to continue your trip. And so I'll click OK, and then we'll check down here. So now our energy upon arrival, so once we get to Center City, we're actually going to have 30 to 31%. So that's exactly what we were looking for when we did our set arrival energy, and we set that to 30%. Let's see. It looks like it defaults, it kicks it up to the next one, but we had set it to 30% earlier. Wow, that plane just went right overhead. That was really loud. It's kind of cool. So let's see. So yeah, let's just go over a few things again. So here's our energy that we expect to have once we arrive at our destination that we're currently traveling to. Up here said that, this was how much time was remaining until we got to our desired amount of battery percent for our trip. Up here is just our current battery state. We've got 58%. So again, if we continued our trip or got to our destination, we'd now have 34%. So those are just kind of like a nice little triangle of information, just to know, like, hey, how much time do I have? What's my battery currently at? And this is how much am I going to arrive with. The next feature, and probably one of the most notable in this release, is being able to search an area and kind of search destinations that we might be interested in along our route or just in our current area. It's kind of like Google Maps, if you've ever used the functionality where it says search this area. Let's say you're looking for like gas stations or taco places or pizza, and you might get the map, you might move the map, and the little thing comes up and it says, search this area. This functionality is very similar. So we see that up here, as we're navigating, search along route up here, and if you don't see it while you're navigating, you can click this up here, like anywhere over here, like in the map area, and the search along route will pop up. And let's say we're just looking for, let's call it Starbucks, and so we see these new search results actually show up with these three little dots and line items. And so if we click on this, what it's going to do is actually look for what it knows as Starbucks or a chain, and there can be multiple locations. It's going to show us all the Starbucks in the area that's currently along our destination. And so we can see that, how it orders these. Starbucks, where it labels it A. So it goes A through G. Previously, it would be pretty random, but now we can see that A is actually the closest location, and then as we get further down the list, they're a bit further away. So we could see, okay, well, I kind of like this Starbucks. If you're familiar with the area, let me just add this one. So by clicking that, and then clicking this little waypoint addition sign right here, we're now along our route. It's going to show us the path that we should take to get to the Starbucks. And then once we arrive, it's going to allow us to continue on our route. So that's using the search functionality along the route. This can also be used if you're not navigating. So let's just do the same thing by clicking navigate. Start typing in Starbucks. We find our, here's our locations, like our actual stores, and then here's like the group of Starbucks. So we want to search for any Starbucks. Try clicking the little icon, and so it's going to search for Starbucks in this area. It looks like it's ordering them by which ones are closest to our current location. And so like I mentioned before, the functionality that's pretty similar to Google Maps. Let's say we're here now, but we plan on going up north. Let's call it by Temple University, and there's this this button up here, search this area. It's kind of small and hard to see, but search this area. If we click this, it's going to search this map area for any Starbucks in this area. And so our search results, we can see that there's only one. It's this little guy right here. And then we could click this and navigate to it there. If we go back, let's try that again. Let's move the map, and our search this area pops up. Let's search this area up here. Looks like there's one Starbucks as well in this map area. If we click this side on the right side, it won't automatically navigate. It'll actually show us where the dot is on the map, so we can kind of see the approximate location, and then we can navigate. So that's using the search, this area functionality, using that button, similar to the Google Maps, that functionality. All right, so the next piece is actually being able to see on the map the weather and precipitation that is really on the area. I do have premium connectivity, so I'm going to look up to see whether or not you need the premium connectivity that's like 10 or 20 bucks a month in order to access this feature. But when you click the map, these icons over here, you can activate any of these. But you might notice this new one, it's like a little cloud with like a sun behind it. And so if you click that guy, what it's going to do is bring up a radar map overlaid on top of the navigation map, and you can zoom out and see live radar. And down here you can see now to the next about 3 hours of where the storm is headed. Right now there's a huge storm system that just came through. It's pretty much done, but we can see that there's still some precipitation kind of shifting over, so we might get a little bit. So it's really useful information for precipitation and finding out, like, hey, is there a snowstorm? Is there a rainstorm? Like, what's going on in the area where I'm headed? It'd be great for road trips when you're traveling on vacation, especially if it's like these colors. We can see that, okay, it goes to light to severe, and it lets us know how severe the weather is. It'll be cool to see, once it starts snowing, whether or not, they have like the bluish and the purple colors like they have on the Weather Channel that let us know, like, hey, this is actually going to be snow precipitation rather than rain. So, if not, they'll probably add that in the future, because, that's really important to know if it's going to be snowing. That can affect the road safety and driving conditions. So we'll see more on that in the future. Again, to view this, to turn it on, here I'm going to turn it off real quick. You click the map, make sure these icons show up, click the little cloud, and that turned it off. It also let's say we're navigating over to New Jersey. And so once we're navigating, if we click this little weather icon, we click the map, click the weather icon, we can actually see, like, along our route, helps us see, is there any weather system that might be headed to it? Because since it's like live in future, we can kind of see, like, hey, this stuff is kind of shifting, but we're probably going to be clear for like the next hour or so at least, and over the next hour we're going to reach our destination, so we shouldn't hit too much rain. So that can be useful, and again, you can use it while you're navigating, so that can give you some insightful information, how the weather conditions along your route are now and in the future. All right, so the next piece that was added in the software update was actually being able to listen to the audio of, you might be watching the news, like a news video, while you're parked, and previously, if you put it into drive, the video would stop and you couldn't hear the audio or anything. But now, let's say you're watching, say, CNBC, you've got the news going, you can hear the audio, and we're also in park. You can kind of see it's bolded. But if we put it into drive, we see that the video is stopped, but we can still listen to the audio. So, we can see that we're still driving. So that's really useful if you're watching a video in the browser and, you want to continue listening to the audio on your way. It doesn't yet work with YouTube. I didn't try Netflix. It probably won't currently. But YouTube, I tried opening a video and playing it while I was in drive, but it didn't work. It just closed the YouTube app. When I put it in drive, it did not continue to play the audio. So hopefully, maybe they add that in the future. Okay, that's it for the new features and a little bit on how to use them and where you can kind of find that value within them. If you have any questions, comments, or find something new when you're using these, please leave a comment below. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.